We are putting the nostalgia goggles back on the next few weeks. What is good, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON here. In the next few weeks, we are going to be looking at some Halo 3 gameplays. We're going to be talking about Halo 3. Why? Because the MCC Insider program is finally running its course. September 1st, Master Chief Collection is going to be going to gamespass. And with it, the improvements of the Insider test flights will be going live, I believe, to everybody. No more Insider program, no more weird Xbox preview, dashboard, download, build nonsense. I think it's going live to everybody. And that is a good thing. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically 343 in the spring, right before they announced Halo Infinite, started putting some resources back into trying to improve the Master Chief Collection. Hey, it's almost 4 years later, but at least it's happening, right? And with those improvements, what we've been testing over the course of the summer is some improved matchmaking settings. They've turned the dedicated servers back on for all games across the spectrum of the MCC. Pretty much the main thing that I only cared about across the board. Like, it's finally happening, it finally exists, yay. For a long time with MCC, the player base knew it was peer-to-peer, but from a public standpoint, like the press standpoint, they had only ever alluded to on a few forum posts, oh, well, it defaults to peer-to-peer when it doesn't work. MCC has been mainly peer-to-peer, you guys, for the last 3.5 years, as far as I can tell in the player base that I hang out and talk with. But this Insider program, these test flights, dedicated servers, the improvements to the matchmaking are all awesome, as well as Xbox One X enhancements that really have had like a big impact on the games, especially the campaigns looking just phenomenal if you have the right TV and an Xbox One X to go along with it, or monitor, whatever your choice is. I wanted to talk today about Halo 3 because that's what I've been playing with one of my good buddies the last few days, and we've been playing and enjoying and playing and enjoying it, and I can't help but get nostalgic when I'm enjoying what is probably the Halo game I respect the most out of the catalog. It's not necessarily my favorite. You guys probably know if you watch the channel, I'm a classic Halo fan. I don't want to turn the series into bashing the modern Halos because I get really turned off when I see videos that just are 20-minute long. Why Sprint has killed Halo, why the new advanced mobility has killed Halo, that kind of stuff. They're good conversations to have, but it's just not the vibe that I want to go for, at least in these initial videos, because that conversation's been had for 3.5 years, and I don't think it's ever going to have much impact on the decisions that 343 ultimately makes with the next Halo game. They're going to build the game that they feel is the game to build. Not to say that they ignore feedback, but I just don't want to turn this into a negativity fest, if that makes sense. By nostalgic sake, I mean I've been watching Halo 3 MLG VODs. Watching it from the last few years it was on the circuit right before the transition to Halo Reach. Some of you maybe didn't grow up in that era. Maybe a lot of you guys remember that era. You could watch Halo 3 on ESPN. How many of you guys remember Puckett casting those top 10 videos? I'm going to link in the description below some of my favorite compilation highlights of best MLG matches, especially from the last years on the circuit. The level of play that Halo 3 got to was ridiculous during those last few years, and it's so much fun to watch a lot of really good players and a very popular game. And that's the main transition I think that's happened over it's been almost a decade now, where we've really seen Halo go from the game that pretty much everybody in your friend circle played. I feel like it was a very household name, to where now if you bumped into somebody who plays Halo 5, out on the street, it'd be a really big deal, it'd be cool. You would totally bro out in a second, oh, a Halo fan, that's awesome. Back in the day though, I don't know if it was this way for you guys, everybody played Halo. Your buddies who gamed back in the day was COD 4 and Halo 3. And you could pretty much guarantee that all of them had a copy of Halo 3 sitting around for the most part. It was just huge. It was that household staple name along the same level of a Call of Duty. Well, fast forward 10 years and now it's a little bit more niche. Now it's definitely a more diehard crowd. You still have a large recognition of the Halo brand as a franchise. I think what Halo 3 did so right for me, and we can talk about this in future videos as well, is just there's an immense amount of depth in a very simple game. You know, if you think about it from a movement perspective, there's not a whole lot going on for a beginner player with Halo 3. There's no gimmicks, there's no sprint, there's no thrust, there's no ground pound, none of that stuff. And yet, this game has immense depth, easy to learn, hard to master. You think about all the different jump locations available to players on the map. You think about the different movement techniques to confuse your opponents with the radar. Thinking about the different tells, like when you pull the energy sword out, it makes a visible, or excuse me, an audible noise that your enemy can hear, and you have to be present and thinking about that when you're in these tight scenarios. Where are you trying like this, the S2 tower or whatever? If I'm going to be pushing up there with my sword, I need to be really aware, thinking, okay, can this guy hear me pull this thing out? And I guess that's maybe why I've always liked Halo 3 so much, is it doesn't really try to be overly complex, and yet the game had a massive skill ceiling. Ultimately, as this match wraps up, it's pretty cool to see how many folks are coming back onto the MCC program, or like just playing MCC on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm seeing some old school Halo 3 dudes, like big Halo 3 dudes, streaming the game and playing it once again. I have no idea if there could be some renaissance for classic Halo. I don't think there will be. It's probably always going to be, at this point, just a very small subset and audience who enjoys this stuff. But I want to be one of those vocal few that says, hey, I really like this style of Halo and I want to keep talking about it. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, could you throw me a thumbs up, subscribe for more? I'll continue the Halo 3 uploads. As I've been saying, I'm enjoying it. And also, throw down in the comments kind of your story and maybe when you began with Halo. Do you remember the old MLG days? I'd like to hear about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time.